All right, first podcast of all time.
All time, first podcast. What do
Right.
we have here? What's this?
Oh shoot, I gotta start it. It's our timer. All right, 15 minutes to chat.
It's on the clock. Here we are.
Here we are. So we're in the middle of the open, and we're gonna chat about the workouts so far. So we've got two that have happened. We had I'm not gonna say all the 21s, but 21-21
Yeah. 21.
of dumbbell snatches, burpees, and then 15-9. Basically for most people, 7 to
Fast.
13, 14-minute workout.
Yeah.
And then we had 24-2, which was long, 20-minute AMRAP rowing, deadlifts at a moderate weight, and then double unders. So thoughts on the first workout, the second workout?
Yeah. So point one was for me, it's like when you walk to the board and you're like, that's going to be easy. I don't know why. I just looked at it and I was like, dude, that's going to be easy. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it was just an off day for me or what, but like people were like getting 8s and 9s, and I show up with a 10 and I was like, holy crap, what was that? And when I look back at it, it's, I mean, obviously a burpee workout. And it's just like, how fast can you go? And that's just not what I like to do, I guess. I mean, snatches were pretty light, 50 pounds. Burpees were pretty easy. It was a little bit different, jumping over the dumbbell. But I mean, yeah, I remember like the first 15 dumbbell snatch, I was like, oh,
yeah, like we're in trouble.
Here we go, yeah. And I would have thought it would have been in the 9s, like I was starting to feel it, but yeah, that one like literally hit me so hard. Is that what you saw like at Bull City or?
Yeah, I think that people kind of treat the open like, hey, I'm either going to push this and see how well I can do, or they're like, hey, this is just kind of something to get through. And we do have a lot of people that are like, this is just kind of a workout to get through.
Oh, true.
So I do think there were some people that were like, hey, let me see, like, you know, basically like it was a deal with the pain type workout, right? Which I think is what's cool about the open is a lot of the workouts are designed where you can't really hide and you just kind of get sucked in no matter what pace you go at. And I'm curious, did you feel like, because I know we all know that feeling, you walk to the whiteboard, you're like, not that hard of a workout, like whatever, you know, maybe it'd be, hey, I feel like I know how to pace this. Maybe it'll be like, you know, I can speed up my transitions here because I feel like I can go unbroken on all the movements. Do you feel like this was a characteristic open suck you in type workout where, you know, everybody looks at it and they're like, this isn't going to be that bad, and then it's really bad? Or do you feel like it was just kind of for you in particular?
Yeah, I definitely got sucked in on that one. You showed up to judge me and was like, hey, what your plan is? I was like, I don't actually have a plan.
Just
You're
go.
like, no, like, know what your plan? I'm like, I don't have a plan. And then you kind of gave me something to aim for, and I think Chloe was there as well, just kind of being like, hey, yeah, I want you to try to go for 9 or under. And I was like, I'll try. And yeah, dude, when I got to that 15, I had nothing left to give. I thought I would have more. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like the same side sort of pulling for consecutive, whereas like I get like a reprieve when I'm alternating, a little bit easier to breathe, or maybe it's just like the stimulus of it where I just wasn't adapting to it quite yet. Whereas like some people might have adapted to it immediately, and I had nothing left to give. And you could tell, dude, like in my 9s.
Tough.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, I'm the same way because I'm not really a sprinter, and I feel like what you were saying about adapting like in the workout. I think sometimes we get, you know, you get done with the 21s and you're kind of like, all right, am I I'm almost done, kind of. Am I kicking now? Because you know, you're like, do I adapt and move faster, or do I adapt and I'm like, crap, now I made my bed, now I got to lie in it. And it sounds like you were kind of on the back half of that.
I made my bed and I was lying in it. And I remember like some of the coaches, they were like, you could have gone faster, like you were overpacing. And I was like, dude, I don't know what.
Like I had no push.
Yeah, there was, like you said, there was no kick for me. And to segue into point 2, it's like I knew how to pace that. Like I remember just like looking at what I had to hit for the row. I was holding like, in terms of on the pace, like per 500, like 210s, 215s, and I was hopping off at the rower like anywhere from 110 to 119 depending. And I would hold that all the way until the 12th minute. And then when I started to kick was 8 minutes
back
left.
half, yeah.
And I noticed like when I watched some of the elite athletes, like it was kind of holding that pace until like the 10-minute mark. And then they would like super kick it in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I think I paced it appropriately in terms of just right to the 8 minutes. I don't know if I could have done any better. I mean, yeah. And transitions, right? This is all about transitions.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to hear because I think both workouts were basically like you're not going to stop moving. There's not really a rest movement. I mean, you could argue, if you're really, really good at double unders and deadlifts, that the row is kind of your recovery. But I think if that's the case, then you should have gone faster on the row. But both of the workouts were basically like, hey, move until you're done, and there's no real place to hide. You're either going to, the first workout, you could have drawn a 2x2 box that you stood in the entire time, and the second workout, a 5x5 box. So I'm curious if you feel like, my initial thoughts are in a 20-minute AMRAP, pacing is good, right? We have to pace because basically to do really poorly in that workout, you either have to come out too hot or you just have to kind of blow up on like one of the movements where you're having to take specific breaks on like double unders or deadlift. But really, if you are like, hey, I know my pace and can just kind of feel this out, then that's going to work really well. And it worked well for you. You got a really good score.
Yeah.
But on the first one, with the same approach, it's like kind of lends you to like a back half time, right?
Dude, that destroyed me. I tried to do exactly what you said for the first one, and the wheels fell off. I tried to stay in my box, and I don't do well, like you just said, like in a 2-foot space.
Yeah.
Like I like transitions. I kind of like to showboat a little bit in one spot versus the other, kind of bait people in, if you will. And it's like you're just going there, spot. Right there. Like the environment doesn't change around you.
Yeah.
If you want to like maybe flip your body 180, then you can do something like that. But dude, I was hurting so bad on that workout.
That's, in my opinion, and it was for me in particular, the hardest workouts are probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Sure.
Like hard because the strategy is basically like, I have to pace this, but pace it at a faster pace than I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what you think about this strategy. I say the send it and deal with it later strategy, where you're like, I'm going to sprint and then just like hope that banks me enough time so that, if my pace is like really wonky on a graph, super fast at the beginning, super slow at the end, but it was fast enough at the fast part that I banked enough time, like that can sometimes work out for people, right?
Yeah.
I watched that workout for like 1 or 2 guys that they were crying on the 9s, but it was because they had gone really hard on the 20s, but it worked out time-wise. So do you feel like that would have worked for you if you had given it another go?
So I've always been the person that does them one time. I don't think I've ever repeated a CrossFit.
I probably did them enough for both of us.
I'm sure you have. But yeah, at that moment in time, I gave it all I had. Maybe if you and I would have chatted a little bit beforehand, I could have tried some of those things you talked about. But it was cool for other people, I will say, because like there are people that aren't the equivalent or years of CrossFit as me to have the opportunity to beat me, because it literally was just gas. And we saw that. We saw Deb destroy me by like a minute and some change, and like it's literally just like the grunt work of it all. And usually I'm pretty good at just kind of like turning the brain off, but man, that just happened so fast. I didn't have an opportunity for it, but everyone keeps giving Castro crap here, right? Because we have jumping and hinging, and then jumping and hinging. Yeah. So what do you think?
Allegedly,
like, are you sort of in that same boat where you're like, Castro, what are you doing? Or
it's interesting. I think this year's different. Like every year has been different. It seems like they change something every year. So when they first made the shift from 10% go to quarters to 25% go to quarters, I was like, this is a money grab, 100%. Like you basically increase your revenue 15% on people that are paying for quarters, right? Now I look at it as, hey, the open is not just 3 weeks. Really now, for a lot of people, it's going to be not 8 weeks, but 8-ish workouts. I think it's quarters. Yeah. Is quarters 5 workouts or 6?
I think it's 5, yeah.
Yeah, 5, 4 or 5, whatever. So it's going to be more kind of like the old open that was 5 workouts. Now, basically, we're just trying to get to the top, however many in your region, those people sort it out as best we can. And so now we kind of have like an intro, I see it as, and then later it's going to be kind of like hammering home. Now, the general kind of thought is like, okay, let's get like the low skill kind of grunt workouts done in the open.
Yeah.
And then later we'll bring in like heavy weights, high gymnastics. And I think that that's generally what we're going to see. And I think that that's generally a good approach. But I'll also say, when you have 25% of people that are moving on, you can like limit and not limit people in any stage now. So
Sure.
what I'm saying is there's not going to be someone that was 29th place that if you gave them quarterfinals workouts, they would have ended up in top 50 in the region after that. Like we're not going to have any accidents like that. Like we're going to see the 25 start to sort themselves out into quarters, and then those people like really sort themselves out in the actual quarterfinals workouts. So as far as the workouts, when comparing 24.1, 24.2, it's like, hey, these things might be pretty similar, but I look at it as like, no one that's saying that has the whole picture.
That's what Castro was saying.
And I didn't actually hear him say that, so I feel like I'm copying him, but this was an original
good.
thought today. Today I was like, if we saw all the workouts laid out in front of you, I don't think a single person would be like, 1 and 2 are kind of similar. Like you'd be like, hey, this is a broad range of tests.
Yep.
You just did your level 1 this weekend, and I know they talk a little bit about programming.
Sure, it's so short, like 5-minute segment.
Yeah.
And they kind of break it up into like, what is a couplet, what is a triplet?
Yeah, basics, right?
And then your AMRAPs. And
yeah, so it's good to hear. So even there, and they really highlight this on level 2, like, so in CrossFit, we're not going to do the same workout 2 days in a row, right? How do we start to create change? Like, let's say your base workout is just a 20-minute AMRAP, and you're like, hey, I'm going to do this every day. Okay, the first thing you change, I think they talk about this at L1, is time, right? So we're going to sort our week across short, medium, long, maybe another short, maybe another medium. Yeah. And I think that's really what I initially look for in the open is, are we getting sprinters? Are we getting medium? And are we getting a workout for the long endurance people? Yeah. And I think so far we've hit 2 of those. We've hit, I kind of shared this with you a little bit. The first workout for the elites was a sprint. Yeah. For the rest of us, it was a medium. The second workout, long for everyone, just an AMRAP. It's going to be 20 minutes no matter how you cut it up. The reason why I think 24.3 is going to be a time bonus is because people like us will get a medium workout.
Yep.
And then we'll get like a short to medium depending on how many bonuses you get, but you'll have to sprint, sure, right, to hit that first bonus. And then our elites are going to get their medium workout in there by going, maybe it's a 4-minute time bonus and you hit 3 checkpoints, you got a 12-minute workout. Yeah. So I think that if that's the case, or I'm sure Dave has thought of this, like whatever that last workout's going to be, I think we're going to round out those 3 time domains. And I'm satisfied at the open at that point. I mean, even if the last workout, I don't want to see any like repeat movements, but if it was cleans, another pull, I'd be fine with that. Okay. I mean, as long as the workout time domain is reasonable, I would say, hey, maybe we could have made this a little bit better. Yeah. But I think time domain is like first priority. And then I think after that, we could talk about like movement variation, including gymnastics, like heavy, then I just feel like at that point though, it's really easy to nitpick versus shooting for the time domains. It's like, cool, we're hitting all those. And that's where you're going to have separation, right? The cream of the crop rise to the top when you have, them being able to excel in a sprint, a medium, and a long term. So
and it's testing all those in that graduation setting. And I know you're not on social media, but Castro posted, so like usually when he talks, like he has his headset on and his dog's kind of walking around. And the clue this week is a big old chicken bone with his dog coming up and chewing on the chicken bone. And it's just this like 5-second clip of the dog coming up and getting that. So based on that, like, what do you think?
You're going to turn, I was going to ask you what you think.
Because last week we had the whole shuffleboard into the pond piece getting knocked away.
Did we ever figure out like what that was?
We didn't. No, the mushroom he did give more illusion to when he did the whole 24.1. But so we know we're squatting. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we should.
We should be.
Yeah.
The thrusters are coming.
Yeah.
Historically, if you look back at it. So.
Yeah, I think, he's set himself up like every year to do a thruster, chest to bar. I mean, really, you could do a repeat of.
Don't say it.
I think it's 21.3.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
What was it? Front squat.
Yep.
Gymnastics, thruster.
Oh, it was
we've got all those movements left. People have been saying there's no gymnastics. So how about 30 toes to bar, 30 chest to bars, 30 bar muscle ups?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, a good workout. The only thing I'll say is does kind of fall in the medium to long.
Okay.
But there is a lift. So, maybe it's something like that, but there's a time cap. Like you have to finish this and that part. And I don't know. I mean, I'm forcing the time bonus here, but
Sure. I like what you're saying about the time bonus because, like you said, like we've seen the quick, we've seen the long, but now can we see like what you're saying? Like the better people are going to go longer, whereas the people who are kind of in the middle are only going to make it so far based on their capacity.
Yeah,
dude, what's that?
It's a timer.
Dang.
We can. You want to talk for a couple more minutes and then wrap it up? Cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I want to talk about his hints. You know what's so funny about the mushroom thing when he was drawn out on the board? I think that was the first time he's ever like revealed what one of the clues. Yeah. And he's been doing these for like 6-7 years. Yeah. And I might be wrong about him revealing one, but it was interesting to see because, and I was telling Tyler about this, the mushroom had nothing to do with the workout at all.
No.
It was only his thought process of putting it together.
Sure.
Where as he started and just his thought process of like a pyramid shape kind of turned into a mushroom, kind of. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, truly to try to use a clue to figure it out, you have to be like, you have to start in the same place he was thinking and then follow every step along the same. You literally have to be him. So, I mean, yeah, I think the obvious answer for the last one is like something legs, right? If it's a chicken leg or drumstick.
Yeah, I really hope it's not what you just described. That one's
maybe if the dog's snatching it out of, but we already did snatches.
We already did snatches.
Yeah, so I think that's a bad guess. I don't know. You got any thoughts? Or what did Chandler Smith say?
Yeah, dude, I honestly thought about the workout that you and I did together, where it was as the snatches got heavier.
Oh, and the chest bars? Yeah, really fun workout.
Like we talked about, where it's a graduating scheme as the weights
time bonus.
Yeah. But I really hope it's not that either.
Really? You don't like that workout?
I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but like, I just don't want to hurt like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that one did hurt.
What about? Have we seen a new movement?
The dumbbell over the burpee kind of counts.
But yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, still a burpee.
See, I was thinking maybe if we hadn't done that, maybe we could do a single arm dumbbell thruster if we hadn't seen one yet.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been saying like, "Where's the devil's press?"
Dude, don't even say that.
I know,
don't even put that out there.
But you could do a single arm devil's press. Is a pretty fun movement.
That would actually be good.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I mean, it's basically a dumbbell snatch, though, so people would complain.
Yeah, and a burpee that we've already done.
Yeah, so probably no devil's press. I would have to guess. Yeah, I mean, final guess would be something similar to 21.3, which was also similar to 22.3. I don't remember that one exactly, but something with thrusters. And what's your final pick?
Final pick, gymnastics. Let's just go with chest bar and thrusters, and then... But that's a couplet, right? So like we've already done a couplet, so maybe a triplet. So there's got to be something in there. Let's throw a box in there.
Would you be surprised if it was a chipper?
I would love if it was a chipper.
Yeah.
Would I be surprised? Yeah, I would be a little surprised since we've already had our longer one in the terms of like the broad scheme of things. But I mean, like you said, what if it was a chipper?
Time bonus?
You could break it up however you want to.
Oh yeah, like that one.
Yeah, like that
Interesting.
one.
Yeah. I mean, you remember back in the day, I mean, really up until whatever year they did the thruster burpee that was for time, I think 2016 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all AMRAPs. And the open was basically 7-minute AMRAP, 20-minute AMRAP, 13-minute AMRAP.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he could just throw a 9-minute AMRAP in there.
Dude, he could.
Or an 11 or a 12 or a 5. We got lots of options. Regardless,
though, I am excited because, like, when he got fired, it kind of like you feel it, right? The tires are kind of like air was kind of blown out of him, and now that he's back, and you can see the engagement. I think they already said this was like the biggest year since
of the
like,
Open.
2018.
That's awesome.
And people were getting involved with the photos again, and I think it's just really cool because we're at the box or you're coaching. I'm here, you're hearing people talking about what's going on, and yeah, dude, I'm just excited for the sport and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. One thing I'll end on this. There have been open workouts where if you did it RX or sometimes even scaled, people got to a point where they're like, I can't do this, whether it be, kind of the far end of that is a ring muscle up, right? You get to the rings, you stare at the rings, you're like, I went as hard as I could, I can't do this. Sometimes it's a bar, I can't lift that. I got to the time bonuses, whatever. We haven't had that yet, which is awesome. And I think that's, doing a 3-week open and then you get 4 to 5 workouts later for quarters. The open should be open everyone.
Yeah.
Should not be any part where anybody's staring at the bar, staring at the rings. And I think that we've hit that. And so as far as I'm concerned, up to this point, great open. maybe we'll do this again after the last workout, and
Let's do it.
yeah, and after it's deadlifts and rowing again, we'll complain. I'll complain at that point.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
First workout.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how long it is. Oh, that was good. 20 minutes.